I'm Robin from Strobe Technologies, and welcome to our ITarian webinar on license management. Today I'm going to talk about the licensing of two main products for the ITarian platform. The first product we're going to talk about is the Komodo Client Security, known as CCS for short, or its alternative name of Advanced Endpoint Protection, AEP for short. The reason the system has two names is depending on where you're looking on the platform. Komodo Client Security is the most common name and it's used on the PC software and in the portal, where Advanced Endpoint Protection is used on licensed information and some of the documentation. The other product we're going to look at is Endpoint Manager Communication Client, known as CC for short, or its alternative name, Komodo Communication Client, CCC for short. Once again, the first name is the main name and it's used for the PC software and the license. The second name is a slightly older name and it's still seen sometimes inside the portal. So if we open up our portal, so inside ITarian, if we go to Endpoint Manager, we can then go down the side menu to License Management, which then gives you one drill down to License Management. Okay, now we've gone into Endpoint Manager. This is a good point to turn around and talk about the two ways of actually purchasing your Komodo Client Security or your Endpoint Management client licenses. Now, the two ways are direct via ITarian and Komodo or via a distributor. Now, distributors include ourselves, Strobe Technologies Limited, and many others around the world. Details of our distribution will be near the end of this video. So as we can see, we've got straight away payment details straight into our endpoint manager because we've not added them and we actually need them for our licensing information. Now I say we need them, we're actually going to skip them in this demo. But say you want to buy your licenses direct via Komodo, you can turn around here and update your payment information, which basically puts a credit card or debit card on their system. They then bill you in the correct fashion, which we'll talk about those as we go through the licenses. For now, I'm going to close that window out the way. So, we have two licenses in our portal. We have one which is an Advanced Endpoint Protection. As we discussed earlier, this is the name for Komodo Client Security. And we also then have Endpoint Manager Standard Edition, which Endpoint Manager is obviously the name for Endpoint Manager, or sometimes known as Komodo Communication Client. Now we're going to start with the endpoint license, the endpoint protection, shall I say, sorry. The reason I'm going to start with that one is this license allows us to show what we call a prepaid license and allows you to show, or us to show, the allocation of that license to customers. Now our license here, we got a license key. We can see straight away it's a global license. We can see the product name. Now in our test environment here, as you can see, our number of seats are unlimited. Now when you're buying your licenses, you may buy 20 seats, 30 seats, 100 seats, whatever you're going to buy. Allocated is how many PCs have this license allocated to them. Now, because this is a free demo license, it tells me ignore that. I'm in the wrong column. Because my license has nothing allocated to it, it tells me how many licenses I've got spare to be able to put onto a machine. In our case, as I have unlimited seats, I have unlimited spare licenses to be allocated across my endpoints. As you can see, this trial license is actually expired. And if we look here, we can see the date that it's actually expired. And this is the license bit I was just about to mess up. It is a free license. So this is a trial license, as it clearly states in the description. Now, in our license here, we are a global style license. What a global license means is this one license key can be allocated to multiple customers that you maintain and manage. So if I hit the little drop down here, it will give me a list of the most common customers you have in your business. And you can see here the device totals, you can see how many devices have this product on, how many seats you've allocated to them, how many seats they're using out of what you've allocated, how many unlicensed devices, so where they haven't got a license, and how many seats they've got available. Now, normally, if you've got a license, as you can see here, my license is expired, so I can't allocate it. But normally what happens here is, say this is a 20-seat license, I can click in the box here and say, no, I want to put a 5 in the box and click apply. That there will then turn around and say we've got total seats 5. You say unused seats 4. It will say unlicensed would then be 0, and unused seats would be 4. Obviously, being a 20 user license and I put 5 there means I then have an additional 15 spare. So for instance, I could turn around and put 15 here, and this here would be unused seats 15, and that would be my entire 20 license allocated. So you can see it's very flexible, being it is a global license. Now we find our customers, our MSPs that we sell licenses to, they do a mixture of global licenses and customer licenses depending on their business style. But we do find most seem to do a global license. They'll buy one key with a mass amount of licenses to it and allocate them throughout their customers. So as their customers grow, shrink, change, they're not buying different keys for different customers with different renewal dates. They have one license, which generally we do find our clients do like them to do monthly, which gives them the flexibility of, so they've got 20 licenses this month, next month they have 25 because they just added 5 more endpoints. It gives you that bit more flexible instead of buying yearly and then having to increase it or get a secondary key or bits like that. So that there is a global license being allocated. Now, say we want this license key to be just for one customer. So we've got a customer, say, with 200 devices. They want their own dedicated key. So what we can do is turn around and click on the license key. You can click on the edit button. You can change the allocation type to customer. And in here, you can then type the customer's name. And it will come up and you can say save. What we'll do is we're going to then change the key. Of course, it is expired, so it's not going to let me. So if I go back to the main screen here, what would happen then is that G would then become a C, and this drop down would only show that one customer. You wouldn't be able to allocate seats. You wouldn't be able to do anything else like that. It literally shows that one customer you changed the license to. So it's nice and easy. It keeps it nice and safe. So the entire key, doesn't matter how many devices the end user's got. If they only got 90 devices and it's a 200 license key, they've got a lot of spare licenses and you can't allocate them to another customer. So you've got to be careful how you license these things. So that there is the advanced endpoint protection, or more commonly known, the Komodo client security, being showed as a global and as a customer-based license. The other option we got here, or another product we got, shall I say, is the Endpoint Manager. Now this here comes in two types of license. Where this one said free here, normally then it'd be like paid. We've got two options here for the Endpoint Manager. We have paid in the same fashion, where you get a license key, you can allocate it to a customer or global in the same way we've just shown you for the antivirus license. Or we have something that we got here called post-paid. Now in this scenario, post-paid, when you're set up with either ITarian Direct via your credit card or via your distributor, what happens is at the end of the month, they will send you a bill for the usage of your Endpoint Manager licenses. Now that there is a very, very different way of working, because it is at the end. So say you are in March, you go all the way through March. At the start of April, you'll get an invoice sent to you for March's usage. Now, usage is a very, very hard thing to determine. That's why there's a feature here called a bill forecast that tells you type of what to expect coming up, because usage is defined by any device that updates or contacts the Endpoint Manager portal in the month. So say you have 200 devices and 90 of them communicate back to the portal, your usage for the month is 90. But if you turn around and have 200 people access the portal, it would be usage of 200. Now the usage counts as long as they update the information portal once. So basically, if a machine is turned on and it communicates across the internet to the portal, even if it only does it once for the month, that counts as it being used and heads towards your usage. So if you've got a few laptops with customers where they only take the site every couple weeks or so, you might find that in 1 month, depending on what they do, you don't get charged for those devices. Next month they've taken them to the site, you then get charged for those devices because they've come out of the bag, they've updated, they've communicated, etc. So it's a very, very different way of working. The other thing that's really, really different with the Endpoint Manager licenses, with the post-paid and the standard paid upfront license, they have a different way of operating. They work in a scenario where they are known as cost neutral is the term used. Now, cost neutral is very simply for every CCS license, the Komodo Client Security License, and a couple of other of the products available from Komodo, for every license you have of those, they give you included as part of that license, they give you the Endpoint Manager license. Due to that, you don't need as many Endpoint Manager licenses as you may think. So going back to our page quickly, so using the bill forecast, it's very good to have a look at this to see what you need. Now obviously ITarian, if you speak to them, will help you understand what you need and what licenses you require for your business, and distributors like ourselves will also help you as much as we can. There's also lots of resources and lots of information all over the forums. But if you want a personal touch and to know what is going on, the best ways really are to contact ITarian direct, or if you would like a distributor for your MSP to control everything and give you a bit more hands-on, please feel free to contact us. If we cannot help, we do know of other distribution companies out there. But yeah, our details should now be coming on the screen, so you can see that. Basically, as you can see there, it is a central help desk system, because we actually use ITarian ourselves to support yourselves. So we're very averse in A, its licensing, and B, its usage. So if you have any questions or queries, please feel free to contact ITarian, the forums, or us. We're all here to help. Thank you.